Hello everyone, welcome back to Coder and Boots. So today in this video we are going to discuss about the deployment using GitHub Actions. So I'm going to demonstrate a simple GitHub action that deploys a SQL script to a server. So we can use the same technique to deploy any code, okay, or execute any code through GitHub Action. So this is like the baseline. So I will be discussing about the foundation that helps you to do this. Okay, so to get started, what we will do is we'll provision an EC2 instance. So I'm going to use GitHub. Okay, this is a free account, GitHub free account, and you can all create a free account from the GitHub using through this URL github.com, and then I'm going to provision an AWS instance. So here also AWS also provides free EC2 instance up to 750 hours if you create like a fresh account. So this example is possible with the help of this free instance. So I'm going to provision an instance quickly. Okay, so I'm going to select Ubuntu as the operating system. So I'm going to Ubuntu, okay, and the instance type T2 micro, and then key pair I'll select GitLab runner. Okay, I have already one key pair. If you don't have, you can create one new, and okay, I'll select one security group. So we just need the outbound traffic enabled. By default it is enabled, and inbound from basically the same address, like basically from my internet, my network, SSH access is enabled to this particular machine. So I think that's it. Let's provision this. So I'm not going to explain much about provisioning the EC2 instance. So this is already explained in a different video. Okay, so let me rename action. Okay, so this is the EC2 instance. Let's wait for it to get ready. So it is still in pending state, so let's wait. Okay, it's in running state. Okay, now let's go to the GitHub. So let's create a repository here. So action demo. Okay, so I'm going to create a repository with the name action demo. You can create a repository of with any name of your choice. So it's a basic repo. I'm going to create the repository. Yeah, now the repository is ready. So now what I'll do is I'll create a simple SQL script. Okay, so what I'll do is create new file. Okay, so I'm not following any directory structure here. Simply I'm creating the scripts.sql here, and what I'll do here is create database org. Okay, then create table org.employee. Okay, it's name varchar 50. It's a sample table. Okay, you can create table of your choice. So this is just to demonstrate the action with the help of GitHub. Name, email, varchar 100, phone, varchar 20. Okay, so this is the SQL script. First is to create a database with the name org. Second is table employee, which is in the database org, columns name, email and phone. Okay, simple SQL script. Going to commit this. Okay, now we have the scripts.sql. Now let's log into the EC2. Okay, GitHub Action machine. Okay, okay, so let's log into this putty. This is an Ubuntu machine, so the username will be Ubuntu. Okay, okay, got it. we logged into this machine. So now next is, let's go to the settings of this project. So go to the settings, then on the left hand side you will see something called actions. Here you will see something called runner. Okay, on click of runner you will see new self-hosted runner. So what we will do is click on the self-hosted runner, and here select Linux, so runner image. Okay, select Linux. Okay, and architecture x86 64, ours is an Intel machine. Now let's execute these steps. So one is, don't change the user, so you have to be as the Ubuntu user. If you execute as root user, the some of these commands may not execute, because they are checking whether you are executing with a super user, so it will not allow you to run as super user, so only execute as the Ubuntu user. So copy paste, it's very easy to copy paste. Okay, second command I copied, pasted, and the third command I am copying, pasted, execute. Okay, and fourth command, it's extracting the runner. Okay, so what's happening is we are basically downloading the runner script from the GitHub and installing, configuring the runner here. Now, so with this step, I mean, what we have done is we have extracted the runner script. Now let's configure. So it is setting the authentication. So it is asking the runner group. I'm basically going with the default. This I'll use coder runner. Okay, and next is like, I mean, the labels I'll use with the, I'll go with the default label, self-hosted. So this label is something that we will have to use at the time of using this runner. Okay, you can specify your own name. So I went ahead with, I mean, the default one, self-hosted. So if you have multiple runners, you can choose your own names. Okay, now enter the name of the work folder. By default it is with _work. I don't want to make any changes to that. I'm going ahead with the same work folder. So I'm going with the default. So now it's all, the configuration got generated. Okay, now the next step is to run this self-hosted runner. So what I'll do, run.sh. Let's see. So it is connected to GitHub. Okay, then listening to 4 jobs. That means the runner was started. So let's see. Let's refresh this page, and then let's go to runner on the left hand side. Okay, settings, actions, runners. Okay, now we can see coder runner, the one that we have given, configured. It is status is idle, it is up. So the runner is up. We can configure multiple self-hosted runners. So right now we have one. So next is, let's configure the action. Okay, so the action that I'm trying to demonstrate is, we have a repository with the name action demo, and we have a SQL script inside this. So I wanted to basically execute this SQL script in a target machine. So I want to populate a target MySQL with this SQL. Okay, so that is my requirement. So let's prepare the MySQL server ready. So what we'll do is, I'm going to reuse the same machine to install MySQL. So I'm duplicating the session. Okay, so let me increase the font size, use system colors, then appearance change, I'll make the font size 14. Okay, now what I'm going to do is, I'm going to switching as root user apt get update. This is an Ubuntu machine, so I do an apt-get update first to update the repositories, repository caches. Now I'm going to install MySQL server here. It's going to install MySQL server. Apt get install MySQL -server. That's the command that I have used. It's going to install a MySQL server here. So the next step, once it completes the installation, what I'm going to do is, I'm going to create a user in this MySQL. So by default, the root user doesn't have any password. So that is fine. So I'm not going to use a root user in my script. I'm going to use a separate user. Okay, now the MySQL is ready. Let me log in MySQL. Okay, so I am in the MySQL shell. So what I'm going to do is create user coder. Followed by coder at 123. I'm creating a user coder and with the host localhost, identified the password coder at 123. The user got created, and for now I'm going to enable super user privileges here. Okay, but don't do this in production systems. This is just for demonstration. Okay, grant all on star dot star, that means all databases every privileges on coder at localhost. Okay, something went wrong. Oh, sorry, there is a syntax problem. Grant all on star dot star to coder at localhost. I think this is fine. Grant all on star dot star to coder at localhost. Now let's exit and try to log in as the new user. MySQL -u coder -h localhost -p. Let's enter the password. Okay, nice. I'm able to log in. That means this is working. Okay, so now let's prepare the GitHub Action script. Okay, so let's create a new file. Create new file. Okay, it has to be within .github /workflows / then. So basically it is going to be created in okay, it has to be workflows. I'm going to create action dot YML. Okay, I'm going to create an action YAML file. So I have prepared the script already, so I'll copy paste the script here and I'll explain what it is. So first is the syntax is we have to give the name of this action, right? So deploy MySQL DDL. Okay, and on, what is a trigger? Okay, if anything gets pushed to this repository, any modification happens to this repository, that is a trigger point. This is the event that triggers this particular action. Then next is jobs. Under this we can have n number of jobs. Okay, so let's create job 1. Then here name of the job. Okay, so what we are doing is, so the first job, what we do, we can give any name. Okay, it can be anything. I just put like deploy SQL. Runs on, here we have to give the label of the runner. So from where we will get the label of the runner? So that we will get it from here. Okay, so here if you go in the settings, actions, runner, and here you can see coder runner, right? This is the label. Okay, self-hosted. So this we have given at the time of creation. This was a default label, and that is what we have to give. So it basically determines which runner this has to run. Then steps. So again, this I mean we can have multiple steps. Okay, so here first step is I have given a name, checkout. We can give any name. Okay, so then uses. This is a checkout action. Okay, this is a GitHub specific action. Action is what? Checkout at v3. This is the v3 version 3 of checkout action, and what it will do is it will check out this particular repository. What repository we have? Action demo. And action demo, if you see what is our branch, it is a main branch, right? Right now we have the main branch, so it will check out the main branch. Then the next step, what we are doing, we are executing the SQL. Okay, so run. This is like I'm in the pipe command, pipe symbol. Then we are executing multiple statements. One is ls-all. This will list the files in the current directory. pwd, the present working directory. What is the present working directory? The next, like what we are doing? We are doing MySQL -u coder -h localhost -p coder at 123. This is like we are basically doing an authentication connection to the MySQL. and then passing the scripts file. Where is the script file? We have it here. Okay, so I have not basically prepared a proper folder structure or anything in this repository. This is just for the demonstration. And again, here I am passing the credential directly without masking it. This also we have techniques to mask it. Right now, just for the demonstration purpose, I am not masking it. I am going to run the very simple GitHub action which performs a deployment. Okay, so here in this, basically in this section, right now we have, as our repository has a SQL script, so we are executing the SQL script. You can replace this with any code that you have. Let's say you have a Python code that provisions an EC2 instance or that performs something. You can put, so basically this accepts the shell scripts. So you can put any shell script here to perform anything. It will get executed on running this particular action. So let's save this. So we will see what happens. So I have saved. So let's go to actions here and see what is happening here. You can see one workflow run is happening. Okay, create action. It basically started one action. Let's see what is happening with this action. I clicked on this. It is running the deploy SQL action. Okay, it got succeeded. And what's happening? There are setup job, checkout, execute SQL, post checkout, complete job. Basically this got succeeded. Now let's check the machine. So here if you see, previously it was just listening for the jobs, right? Now you see two more logs. Okay, two more lines got logged here. One is what? It got something. Okay, running job, deploy SQL, job SQL completed with result succeeded. So let's go to the repository and see what happened here. Setup job. So this is basically the initialization part. So what has happened is, using this token, it basically sent a request to the runner. Okay, the machine is this one. Okay, this is the machine where, this is the EC2 machine where our runner is running. Okay, now what is the first step in our pipeline, our action? Our first step is checkout action. So what is doing? It is doing a git config global. It is basically doing a checkout of our repository, action demo repository. It did a checkout. Okay, and it is basically checking out our main branch main. Okay, it basically checked out our main branch. Now execute SQL. What was the first command? We had one command, ls-all. That is what it did. It did an ls, and what you see here, you can see scripts.sql and GitHub. Okay, and git, this is basically our entire repository is available in that directory. The next command that we did was, basically we have passed pwd, the present working directory is what we passed next. Okay, what was that? Present working directory is /home action ubuntu action runner _work. I hope you remember this directory when we were configuring that GitHub self-hosted runner. That time it asked for a work directory. This is the work directory. So inside that action demo, this is basically the directory where it is currently standing. And next is we have executed. Okay, so next is like, we have executed the SQL script. So since this is like, it has a password, so GitHub automatically identified using a password on command line can be insecure. That is correct. It is insecure, but just for demonstration we did that. So it has executed that one, but it did not listed here because of the password. Okay, so then this is basically the post checkout part. Post checkout, what they will do is they will basically do like a cleanup of that and basically completes the job. Okay, cleaning up orphan processes. Now let's go to the machine. Okay, let's go to the MySQL. So let's do show databases. We have not created any database here at the time of configuring this MySQL. Now let's see whether something got created. Yes, now we can see the org database. This was created by our action. Show tables. Now you will see the employee table. Describe employee. You see, this is the employee table, and this was created by our runner, basically the action program. Okay, action workflow. So like this we can create any action. So this is a very simple action. So we can create complicated actions this is a very powerful feature of GitHub. So similar features are available in GitLab, Azure DevOps, everywhere. So as a developer, everyone has to learn this. So this is like a very useful feature, because nowadays there is nothing like developer will do the coding and the DevOps guy will be doing the CICD pipelines. There is nothing like that. The developer has to learn this, so it will make your profile very powerful. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you very much for your time. If you have any questions or queries, feel free to comment below the video. I'll respond back to you. Thank you very much.